Good evening. This is the Elliott wave update for the S&P 500 and the NASDAQ 100 for Tuesday, December the 26th, 2023. Well, year-end posturing, year-end position squaring, whatever we want to call it, did continue today. We did see a little bit of both sides, but eventually it just was straight buying, a lot of buying. We saw some breaks for a little bit of selling, but not anything that did any damage or just really produced where the buyers are just going to disappear. So this posturing, this position squaring continues to control the markets and just depends on what they're rotating in out of, what they're rotating out of to what manages to go up or down. For example, today, Apple rarely caught a strong bid that would push it to the positive for much more than 15 minutes max. And so it ended up down, not tremendously, but ended up down 55 cents on the day. Amazon fought being positive all day long. So did Google. But then we had stocks as Intel, Meta, Microsoft actually battled higher or lower all day long. So again, most of these stocks are part of the S&P. So they continue to have that balance between where this index is going to end up. So again, on the day, we did manage to get up there and break to a new high above what we saw last Wednesday, just before we did that quick reversal. And what's going to become interesting is like we did break above it. We closed back below it. And the market is getting ready to open up pretty much just right underneath it, up about $1.75 right now if the opening comes in where they're indicating, which is 48.2875. Now, what does that do? Let's just take a quick review once again. This is the big picture. So here's the B wave. B wave at the end of October 2023, the market was at 41.75. We hit 48.34 today. Pretty sure. Let me just double check. Yep, 48.34. So in essence, we have 234. We have about a 250 point rally in 2 months. S&P rally. So it's very strong and continues to build. Now, what do we have? We're putting in an intermediate C wave, which will consist of 5 waves of minor degree. There's 1, there's 2, we're completing 3. I had marked this as the third. And because of that downturn, but it left open, and truly I wanted to see an additional leg down of this being a B, and a C, and for it to come in. It did not. It did not. In fact, it turned into 5 waves going in the opposite direction. So bringing that quickly down to the 1 hour chart, which opens this up so we can get a look. There again is minute 2, minute 3, minute 4. We're in minute 5. Let's see if we can open it up a little bit more, because this is where I want to get into. This was pure slop, is what I call it. Chop slop. And it began to look like it could be a finishing diagonal, and it still can. But of that minor third wave is what I am going to call it. And the reason is that even on the minute 5, the minimum I have is 48.77, and that's 0.618. That's where minute wave 5 would be 0.618 of minute wave 1. And then I come up to here and go minuet wave 5 to complete the minute wave 5, to complete the minor third, is projecting 100% of 48.31, which it did, went up and broke, but came flying back down, which kind of gives me an indication either that the 5 is done here, and that would put the minor wave 3 here, or we have to continue to allow for a little bit more room, because as I broke this down, it starts to get a little bit like, really, what is all of this? This is probably a 5, this is a 3. This can be counted as a 5 when I break it down to the 30-minute. people are going to come in and start screaming, well, this is, if that's the 4, it's overlapping wave 1, and I want to show you. So please don't tell me about it later. Look at it on the line chart. The line chart not even close to overlapping wave 1. So therefore, I do say 1, 2, 3, 4, and we're in that 5th, and it could be done. So I do again, minuet wave 5, which would be up here, as it's compared to minuet wave 1. And actually that part is, I'm inside it actually. And let me just redo this. Let me redo this one. I'm going to take that off and redo it. Yep, over here. I was 1 off on that, and please forgive me on that. So in any case, here we are again, where this minuet wave 5, as it's compared to minuet wave 1, would find its 100% equality at 48.35. We got to 48.34.50. Was that enough? Maybe. Maybe it was. So we're opening up a little bit higher, but we're going to have that continued resistance at 48.35. And if it should come in and we finished minute wave 5 and then turn minor wave 3, then I'm looking for another 4th wave down. Now, barely, right? There we have it. Not getting a whole lot above there. And even when I take it out and I put it back on the candle, it did take it out, but maybe it'll get back up there. Next level, if we get a rally going again now, next level is 48.58. And beyond that, minute 5, which is this wave right here that we're trying to complete, is 0.618 of minute wave 1 at 48.77. And that might just be enough to complete this minute wave 5 and then in turn that minor wave 3. And you're going to see that minor wave 3 is pretty large, pretty large. Here's 1, 2, and so all of this is minor 3. So whether minute wave 5 actually reaches equality or not, it's going to be this structure. And you hear me talk about that often. It's like when we're trying to count and it's a finishing move, it's going to be the structure versus the fib. And so 0.618 might be the ticket, or actually 48.58 might be the ticket, because each one provides the follow through we're needing to see and completes the move. So once again, that's what I'm kind of looking for. I did not think this was done yet. 1, 2, 3, putting in a little 4, possibly already done, putting in a 5 to get this done, and then we come back down in a 4, which is going to be a minor wave 4. Now, whatever, here again, I know I keep bouncing back and forth between the 4-hour chart, but what you're going to have to realize is if this finishes wave 3 up here or here, it makes no difference. You're running your fibs from this low. So running your fibs from the November 9th low at 44.07 up to wherever this tops out at 48. So it's going to be quite a bit. Now, right out of the gate, again, bring it back down. Right out of the gate, minor wave 4 should find its terminus. I'm using Elliott's words. Find its terminus, its endpoint within the 4th wave of within the 4th wave of 1 lesser degree. And that's this one right here. So where we end up here, what are we going to do? Another drop. And I think it could be quick and as serious as this one. And maybe they do it tomorrow. I think what I believe we have a VIX expiration. Let me just double check. Let me double check if we have a VIX expiration tomorrow. We sure do. We sure do. We have a VIX expiration tomorrow morning. So a lot of volatility, just a lot comes out. So Maybe we get one of these. I don't know. It's again, here we are, year end. A lot of things can happen. So, but that's what I'm going to be looking for. But it's within this price territory. So again, I need the completion point. And that could be it today, could be it, in all honesty. 34.50 can be it. One, very not pretty, but 1, 2, 3. Still looks like I need another little bit, at least above that 34.50. And we might get that. And then start to pull back. And then just follow through overnight until we come back in, or even to tomorrow morning and our start of the day. And we get that fourth wave in, and we got one more rise, one more run up. And it's a little bit too early to start to throw in potential without going further out and seeing what we still have left up here. So again, we got to wait and see. But what I can say, according to how I'm counting this, I believe we're just going to be completing a minor third wave, and we're going to put in a minor 4, and we still have a minor 5th up. And therefore, that's why I continue to say that this is likely going to roll out into 2024, into maybe mid to January into February, possible, but at least mid-January. Moving averages, all following through. Now, back in alignment, oh man, back in alignment to go up. The 200, the 100, the 50, the 20, the 8, all in alignment to continue the rally. Over in the NASDAQ, it is again also presenting just as a difficult of a picture, but yeah, I don't know. Maybe the difficult is not the correct word. But we're also doing 5 waves up of minor degree to finish that intermediate C wave and to put that primary B wave above it. We're in minor wave 5. Here we are on the 4-hour chart. This is the completion point for minor wave 5, which again, end of October 2023. And we have 1, 2, 3, 4. We're in minute wave 5, which is also tending to be very nice and subdividing as we get up to its completion point. And now this is all within this thing. So this is, I think we're even closer in terms of the NASDAQ. I think we're pretty dang close to finishing this all up. If I had to think, unless I have to move this minute 3 all the way up to here. And that's going to be like pretty wild, but not impossible. Not impossible. So it just depends on what we're going to see. So I'm laying out the groundwork, not that this is what I intend to do. The market's going to tell us rather than me telling the market. That's never going to work. So if we just really start to keep pushing and pushing and pushing, then this third is just going to be moved. And in fact, a lot of this will get moved because this has always been a little of a trouble spot, and that it was so small compared to the rest of the leg, the rest of the move. So we're going to be we'd be bringing it up to what is the market telling us? Is this a 1, 2? Or is this 1, 2? And now we're in the third, and we're just really looking at truly higher levels. I do think that as we move out, we're getting pretty overbought daily, very overbought on the weekly. Let me take a look at well, we were here, we pulled back, but now we're again on the monthly approaching overbought. So all the way through, we're pretty overbought. But let's just go back to what I am counting. I'm counting 5s and 3s. So here again, this ugly. Slide and then run. So and this is what I do, people. This is how I kind of take a look at this. I go to a line chart, which is on a closing basis. That is what Elliott had. That's all he had. He didn't have 15-minute, 5-minute, 30-minute, you know, however many minutes you can put together charts. He had an hourly chart that he constructed by hand. And when I first was doing Elliott work, and basically I could say back in the dark ages, right? But when I started Elliott, I was a trader on a floor and I would look up at the hour mark and I would copy down the price of the index. And then at that evening, I'd go home, I'd go back and I would pencil in on a piece of graph paper all of the points and I would connect them. So I had a line chart base and it was on a closing basis. That's what Elliott had. On a closing basis, I have 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, possibly. And then this is, I think, the fifth, but just finishing this third. So with that in mind, what could a fourth wave do? Well, depending on how high they get this thing. I mean, our high thus far was 17,111.25. If we move above that, then yep, we likely, I will get some more fibs, but I don't really have anything until I'm out here on the minuet fifth wave, which is 17,270, 271. And then I got to go back out even again more to go here to the minute fifth wave, and then 4.236 is 17,304. This is way out there. This is the C wave. I'm pretty sure it's going to be the C wave. Yeah, it's even further out. Yeah, it is, I believe. Let me go out to the daily. It's the C wave, ABC, 4236, 17,680. So this is all of our calculations. This is what left. I went over these over the weekend. So now I'm just trying to keep it updated. Even within this low is December the 4th. December the 4th, we were down to 15,936. December the 26th, we're up at 17,100. That's like over 1,000 points. It's been an incredible run. Totally incredible. So counting it, the third wave. It's been pretty wild. So getting back down inside this thing, 1, 2, 3, 4. So minuet, we've gone through all of the minuets. What we have left is 1.618, which is 17,270. Coming inside here, I need another drop to put in this sub-minuet, wave 5, which would then finish minuet wave 5, which would then finish minute wave 5. So I think we're very, very close. If not, then I'm back out in this thing saying, okay, what really starts to happen here? Where do I need to extend this? I'm going to put this back out to the candles. Where do I need to extend this? Does this third come up to here? And this is the fourth, a minute third, fourth. It could be. It could be. And again, we're down here looking at this very difficult 1, 2, which is kind of held and stuck itself together here. And these are still working. Although that one can come off, to be honest with you. 382 and 618 can come off. And let me get out of the way and say, come on, go on. Okay. So now we're at 382. So those two have come off. And here we go. We have the minuet, 1.618. That's what's up next. So I'm looking to get this fourth wave, and then we will end up into here. And so maybe the NASDAQ finishes before the others. And then because they're so pumped up for year end, we're just seeing, got to have them in the portfolio, whatever the situation is, that they get very pumped up. and that could happen again. So I'm playing by the numbers, folks. That's all we really have. So again, I'm just going to open it up into here. We got 3, 4, 1, 2. I believe we're just finishing this third. And here are our points. Now, if we go above 17,111, then it's just going to move up that completion point by however much we get to up there. Otherwise, we should start to move back down. And kind of looking for, 382. Here's the fourth wave. Actually, it's not. I'm looking for the fourth wave to be the internal fourth wave. Wow, where is that one going to be? Let's drop it down to a 30-minute chart and open it up. That would be it here. Maybe we've already done it. 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm putting in a 5 to finish this. So here we have 1, 2. Yeah, 1, 2, 3. This could be the internal 4. And this could also be. So maybe this third comes down into here, which fits. So it's very difficult to count because we get these huge swings. This was yesterday, actually Friday. Dropping it down and then buying it all the way back up for Friday's expiration. It's quite the day. So again, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, and you're going to scream at me, but that's why I told you. Try to go over to the line chart and see that and that, but this and that, everything overlaps. So what could it be? 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. Right? 3, 4, 5 or 3, 4, 5 or 3, 4, 5. Yes, it could be. So let's not speed it up. Let's just we're trading the price action. We're trading, okay, we get the 5, we get a 3, we get a 5, we get a 3, we get a 5, until we can realistically finish all of this. Bring it back out again. That's why we've got all these levels, and they continue to come into fruition. Minute 4, 4.236, 17,304. That's like, wow. But yet, minuet wave 5, I have 1.618 at 17,270. 2.618 at 17,586. I mean, those are just fib levels, but they're there. So everything I'm looking at, and I'm watching this just continue to extend pretty massively. So for tomorrow, pullbacks, I think, like if you get them and you get it down to there, it's going to be a great move. You just keep it, and then it'll probably take off again. And you just buy it and let it go and just ride it. As far as the intraday trading goes, it continues to be profitable. It really does. So, but position trading it's a whole different story. All right. So moving averages here on the hourly chart, they're kind of, it didn't have that strength that, even though on the smaller bars, like 5 and the 15, they were pretty good bars. But look at the hourly. Flat, 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 kind of flat. And I think that it should continue to have a little bit of an upward bias. So no problem from the moving averages. They continue to acknowledge the move. Okay, I'm going to finish it right there, get this all published. And again, tomorrow we're still in, and let's see what we got. We do have a lot of economic numbers coming out this week, by the way. Tomorrow, actually, none. I said we have a lot, right? But on Thursday, initial jobless claims, trade balance in goods, retail inventories, wholesale inventories, pending home sales. Those are Thursday. Friday, Chicago Business Barometer, and the bond market does close early on Friday. So they get a break. We don't. So, but Friday is also the last expiration of the year, so it could be pretty wild, pretty wild. It's actually, I was looking next week, we get a lot, we're kicking off the new year with a ton of economic data. So that first week of the year could be a very interesting start. We shall see. In any case, the next update will be on Wednesday, December the 27th.